and you're with them moment to moment because you're there trying to survive just like they are.
Ultimately, what we want to do is evoke certain emotions from the player, from people playing this game. And the way we do that is by giving characters that have a lot of dimensionality, a lot of depth, so you could buy that they're real people that are forced to make these difficult choices. And part of the process of bringing these characters to life was casting Troy and Ashley, and these two very talented actors that have imbued these characters with so much personality and emotional range. And the chemistry between these two actors, which then translate to the chemistry between these two characters. I mean, the kind of emotional themes we're dealing with this game, like we mentioned before, love, loyalty, sacrifice, you know, they're pretty hard themes, emotions to sell in any medium. And for us, we feel like the only way we could really get into those kind of emotions is if you buy into what's at stake for these characters. And that's kind of been why we approach tension and violence on such a realistic level.
That violence is to show you that there are real consequences, and of course this plays into strategies for the player. We're giving a lot more opportunities. It's probably one of the more system-based games that we're making here at Nine Dog, if ever. So everything has weight, everything has consequence, and then that allows Joel and Ellie to create interesting choices, and that lets you as the player strategize differently throughout.
Ashley is pretty violent. So there's been at least 4 times where she's hit another actor. One time in an audition, she actually almost got in a fight with one of the actors. But the cool thing is because she really throws herself into Ellie. She really has become Ellie. And actually a lot of times when we're thinking about dialogue, it's like listening to Ashley and listening to how she speaks, and almost that gets directly translated to how Ellie speaks. When trying to cast Joel, this pretty tough character, you know, he's gone someplace really dark in his life in order to become a survivor in this world. We went through a really long casting process. We saw like dozens of actors, and finally got this headshot of Troy, this like tall, handsome, skinny, kind of beautiful guy, and it's like, is this guy going to be Joel? And we brought him in, but then we did the audition, he threw himself into the role, he auditioned against Ashley, and we knew that was our Joel.
Well guys, that's it. Sorry we can't be there in Cologne with you. Hope you're having a great time. Thanks so much for, I don't know, coming and seeing our game and having some interest in it. We really are humbled by that, so thanks.
Yeah, we're kind of bummed we couldn't be there sharing this moment with you guys, but instead we're going to hand it off to...
It's a mystery. That's who it is. Who are you going to hand it off to? We don't know.
Troy, why don't you just pick it up?
Fine, the libraries. Let's take 2 on that one. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you, like Neil and Bruce said, thank you for being interested in this. We've had an absolute blast over the last year and a half making this game, and we're incredibly humbled by the response we've had so far. And just please just punch me in.
Well, why don't you tell us some of your past work, to at least provide context?
Sure. Why am I here? If you guys are gamers, hopefully you are. Otherwise, boy, this has been a long week so far for you. Final Fantasy 13 was one of the first big games that I did. I played Snowbillionaires. If you didn't like the character, I apologize. I know he was annoying. Steel Guard! Also, to me, it's very much of a gamer's game was Catherine. I played Vincent Brooks in that, which was Q-Bertian hell. Fun game to make. Yay! Batman Arkham City, I played Two-Face in that, which was a dream come true, and ended up being in Batman and Lego Batman 2. A bunch of games, and I'm a nerd gamer, and this is purely water, I assure you.
Well, your background is really different. You actually come from the film and TV world.
Yes.
You've been on the TV show The Killing. You know,
Yay!
Yes.
And Marvel's The Avengers.
Yay!
Yes.
And anything else?
Yeah, I have some other things, but this is my first video game, so I don't have a cool resume like that. I wish I could say stuff like that, but this will be my first, and
Not yours.
well, could be the last of me, whatever that means. Yeah, this is my first video game, and I'm so excited that this is my first game, so I feel very lucky.
Well, seeing this is a first video game, what's it like for you to come onto our performance master stage? Is it really
the auditions on the performance capture
Cage is actually proper.
Yeah, cage. On the stage, and when I walked in, I mean, it's like walking into a room like this, but it's bigger. And, you know, there are just cameras all around the entire room. And it could be a little bit intimidating, but I think I was just so excited and so in love with the story, just a little bit of the story that I was given for the audition and the concept art. But it is very different, and I've learned so much from Troy, obviously, since he's been doing this for so long, or has done so much at least.
I'm old!
He's an old man. But yeah, it's definitely a very new experience for me.
It's definitely, and she's right, it can be incredibly intimidating. And I think everyone's trying to find the best way to do performance capture because more and more games are going towards a more cinematic approach. And in order to do that, the need for actors to come in and actually bring that story to life and bring those characters to life has become so critical to telling that narrative in a video game. But it's still such an embryonic phase of how we're doing it. But the industry has, been looking to Naughty Dog because of the success with Uncharted and how well they are at telling stories and how realistic and successful that game was in portraying those characters in that story. That there's a proven method to the way that we do performance capture. So it's fun, if nothing else.
Well, I mean, The Last of Us is about Joel and Ellie, and we're going to be focusing sort of on the characters, and we get to see some of the cinematics as well. Why don't you tell me, sort of what your perception of Ellie was? Like, what did you find out when you first heard about Ellie and who she is?
Well, Ellie is 14, and she's only grown up in the quarantine zone and hasn't seen the outside world. But in that, it's obviously still very rough and very different from anything that we know. So she's not your regular 14-year-old girl by any means. And yeah, so when I auditioned for it, I didn't approach it as that she was 14. She's kind of like an adult. But yeah, so that's, I guess, the setup for Ellie.
Broad strokes for Joel.
Yeah, I think there's one key thing that I really tuned into when I saw the audition sites for Joel. And it was a line that said, he has few moral lines left to cross. And to me, that was a very profound statement to make about anybody, because in order for you to get to that place, there would have to be some really traumatic things happen in your life for that to be said of you. And so to me, that's been the anchor that I've kind of tied myself to. It's allowed me to kind of move around in that space and develop Joel, and especially in this world, in this post-pandemic world where all of humanity has been ravaged by this cordyceps fungus. The need for relationships is critical because that's how you survive. And Joel being very much of a loner, when this girl comes into his life, it completely changes who he is as a person. That's kind of the overall story of the game. And there's actually a clip that we're going to show you guys that talks about how important these relationships are. And in this world, things that are pedestrian and mundane and trivial to us are actually very, very critical for your survival in this. And in this scene that we're going to show you, you're actually going to meet a character named Bill, who is someone that is the guy you go to if you need something. And you'll see in this how trust is important in this world. And even a relationship with a friend that you think you can trust, when you introduce an unknown element, how much that situation can change. Check it out.
Thanks for the hot rocks and all. Ellie. Hey, what are you... Joel?
Bill!
What are you doing?
Bill! Turn around and get on your knees.
Calm down a second.
Turn around!
All right.
Get on your knees! Don't test me!
Just take Take it easy.
Any bites? Anything sprout?
God damn it, I'm clean!
If I see so much as a Ow! Stop! Son of a bitch!
You done?
Am I done? You come into my house, you set off all my traps, you damn near break my shooting arm. Who the fuck is this punk and what's she doing here?
I am none of your goddamn business, and we're here because you owe Joel some favors. And you can start by taking these off.
I owe Joel some favors, some kind of joke.
I'll cut to the chase. I need a car.
Well, it is a joke. Joel needs a car. Well, if I had one that works, which I sure as hell don't, what makes you think I'd just give it to you? Huh? Yeah, sure, Joel, go ahead. Take my car. Take all my food, too, while you're at it.
By the looks of it, you could lose some of that food.
Listen to me, you little shit.
No, fuck you! You handcuffed
I
me!
need you to shut up. All right?
Whatever favors you think I owe you ain't worth that much.
Actually, Bill, they are.
Well, it don't matter because I don't have a car that works.
But there is one in this town.
Parts. There are parts in this town.
Meaning that you could fix one up.
All right. I'm gonna do this. There's some gear I'm gonna need.
All right.
It's on the other side of town. Now you help me go gather it, and maybe I can put something together that runs. But after this, I owe you nothing.
That's fine. A couple days from now, we'll probably be dead anyway.
Good. Follow me. Whole goddamn town's booby trapped. Best stay right on my ass.
Can't miss it.
Knock it off.
Pretty cool, right? The thing that I love about this scene is the way that it starts off is immediately, that's the first introduction you've had to the game, you can tell that tension is kind of a thematic thing that runs throughout the entire game. We start off running away from a threat. We'll let you discover in the game what it actually is.